Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Mass Effect Legendary Edition Platinum Guide. So, we have finished Pharos, and now we are going to be continuing with, you guessed it, more UNC missions. Got a batch of them that we're going to do today, but first, we need to head down and go talk to Kaidan. Let's make our way around here like we're heading towards the elevator. Go around. Actually, let's go to the medical clinic and refresh our medi-gels in case we need it. We're gonna head over here and talk to Kaidan.
Do you have some time to talk now, Commander?
Of course. Have a seat.
We've played it pretty close to the book so far, but we're a long way from backup. We've got some tough calls to make. I'm just saying, try to leave yourself a way out. I've seen what cutting corners can do, and I'd hate to have that happen to you, Shepard. Commander.
That's not the appropriate way to address your commanding officer, Lieutenant.
I wasn't speaking to you as my commanding officer, ma'am. I don't want to send any bad signals. Just, working on what I've picked up. You tell me if I'm going too far.
We haven't had much off-duty time to talk. You have an issue with how things are going?
I'm not questioning any decision you've made, Shepard. Let me be clear about that. It's just my experience that once someone lets something slide, it tends to pick up speed. Do you get my meaning?
Talk to me, Kaidan. You got a little black rain cloud sitting over your head.
I'll try to keep the deck dry. You know the records about the biotic training out on Jump Zero? They're all classified, because the Alliance made mistakes. After first contact, Kinetics was set up to track Element Zero exposures and develop implants for humans. Once we had an embassy on the Citadel, Kinetics could bring in experts instead of taking it slow.
The only experts would have to be aliens.
Dead on. Turians, actually. That's why Kinetics kept it a secret. They were afraid of what people back home would think, asking the Turians for help when we just fought a war with them.
The Asari would have been more acceptable than the Turians.
Yes, but the company didn't go through the Citadel. It would have made Earth look weak, so they discreetly hired some Turian mercenaries.
I'm sure Kinetics did what they thought was best.
It wasn't best for us. They brought in an ex-military Turian named Commander Vernus. To introduce himself, he liked to say, "I was at the helm of the dreadnought that killed your father." Well, I told him my dad wasn't in the war. He'd retired to Vancouver. My family had an inland home that matured to New Beachfront. Vernus had it in for me after that. He cut corners, pushed hard. I mean, you either came out a Superman or a wreck. A lot of kids snapped. A few died. The point of all of this, I guess, is that when you cut corners, it's not always obvious who pays for it.
So why are you telling me this? Is there something I can do to help you get over it?
I'm 32, Shepard. You don't serve as long as I have without coming to terms with yourself. You also learn that if someone is special to you, you help them. Try to keep them from making mistakes.
Special, huh?
If I'm out of line, just say the word.
You're not out of line, Kaidan. But there are regs.
I get you, Shepard. I don't make a habit of complicating the chain of command. Just think about what I said.
We'll talk later, Kaidan.
I'd like that.
Alright, we have progressed further with our relationship with Kaidan. And that's about all we could talk to him about. I mean, he could give us some input on the previous mission, but we really don't need to worry about that. We are just doing the relationship dialogue that you can only talk to him about in between larger missions. So, with that conversation out of the way, let's head up to the galaxy map.
Good timing, Commander. We got a transmission coming in from the Citadel. Top priority clearance.
I'll take it in the comm room.
Alright, so we turn around and go around back to the comm room. I wonder who it could be.
Commander Shepard, we've received information that may be critical to your mission against Saren.
What kind of information?
We've received an urgent message from one of our infiltration regiments in the Traverse.
I'm listening.
We currently have several infiltration units scattered throughout the border regions of Citadel space. This particular unit was gathering intel on Saren.
What did they find?
Unfortunately, the message we received was little more than static. The infiltration team must be in a situation where they can't set up proper interstellar communications. But the message was sent on a channel reserved for mission-critical communications. Whatever they were trying to tell us, we know it was important. Considering your interest in Saren, we thought you might want to investigate this. Find out what happened to our team. The signal originated from the planet Virmire.
I'll look into it.
The Council prefers not to become involved in the specifics of Spectre activities. We only want you to be aware of all your options, including Virmire. Good luck, Commander Shepard. We will keep you advised if we learn anything else.
So yes, the main mission Virmire is now available. Unfortunately, we are not going to be doing that until later, because that is a very crucial moment, and it only makes sense to do it after we've done Pharos, finding Liara, and Noveria, and we haven't completed Noveria yet. Alright, so let's go out onto the galaxy map, and we're going to zoom out till here, and we're going to go down and go to the Hercules system.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Normandy, this is Alliance Command. We're detecting your presence in the Attican Beta Cluster. One of our surveillance drones was gathering intel on Geth activities in the region when it was spotted and shot down. You need to go groundside and recover the drone's data module before the Geth find it.
Very subtle, direct. Okay, so we're gonna go over here to Sighted. I think that's how you say it. We have a League of One Medallion. Down here to the Zatoris. Heavy metal. And then lastly, Elatania. And since I mainly need to be working on my biotic abilities for trophies, I'm going to bring Liara with me as well as Tali for her decryption. All right. First, we're going to climb over this mountain to the west. We're going to continue climbing up here. Remember, if it's green, it's easier to get a grip on. If it looks like a smooth gray rocky surface, you will slide. We're looking for that anomaly right there that just appeared on the compass. And this, believe it or not, is a Prothean ruin. Once it lifts, examine it. Examining the strange Prothean artifact reveals a small irregular slot on the underside. Remembering the strange trinket you received from the Asari consort on the Citadel, you pull it out and place it into the slot. The ball explodes in a brilliant flash of white light, momentarily blinding and disorienting you. Slowly, your senses return as you wake from a deep sleep. You are alone in the forest, though you are not far from the caves you share with others of your tribe. There is a pain and a small lump on the back of your skull, as if a chip of flint has been forced under the surface of the skin. Leaning on your bone-tipped spear for support, you rise to your feet. A sound draws your attention upwards where a strange creature hovers high above you. It is unlike the birds you hunt by the lake's edge. It has no head and no wings, yet somehow it flies. It is a beast of shining silver, hanging motionless in the sky like a cloud. You sense it is watching you, studying you. Raising a hairy fist, you shake your spear at it in anger, and the creature rises up quickly until it disappears from view. With a satisfied grunt, you make your way back to your caves and the rest of the tribe. You fall into the familiar pattern of life: the hunt for food, the struggle to claim and keep a mate, the battles against other tribes that would claim your territory. Days roll into nights and back into days. Each time you rise from sleep, there is a sensation that you are not alone, that some other is with you, sharing all you see, hear, and feel. At these times, your hand goes to the strange lump on the back of your skull, and you remember the silver creature in the sky. The air grows colder, winter falls. You must range farther for food, clutching the furs tight against you to ward off the chill. It is on one of these long hunts that the strange bird returns. You hear it before you see it. Its call, a deafening roar as it descends from above, swooping down on you. A single great eye opens under the underbelly, a glowing red orb. You try to run, but a finger of red light extends from the eye and engulfs you, and all goes black again. You wake an instant later to find yourself on Elatania, lying on your back, the Prothean artifact looming above you undamaged, and your companion standing over you. They help you to your feet, puzzled. There was a flash of light, and you just sort of toppled over, one explains. "Are you okay, Shepard?" the other asks. You don't answer right away, wondering at the implications of what you have seen, the memories of a Cro-Magnon hunter captured by an implanted Prothean data recorder. How long did they study the primitive humans, observing them and analyzing the results at their base on Mars? And what, if anything, did they learn from us? "I'm fine," you finally reply, realizing this is a mystery you will probably never solve. Forget about it. The Protheans were keeping an eye on the humans as they developed. Rather interesting. So now, I apologize for my horrible reading skills. So we're gonna go north. And we are looking for a mineral deposit. So, little trick. Never mind. If you fall down in here, remember, use the green to get grip and climb your way back up. You want to head towards that deposit icon on your compass. All 6 wheels must be planted on the ground to be able to get out. Another heavy metal. And now we need to go east, so directly over this mountain. Looking for that debris. Now, we need to go slightly northeast. You'll notice that flashing light right over there. That is one of the bases that Admiral Hackett sent us to check out. Now these creatures are pyjaks. Don't worry, they won't hurt you. All right, so we need to go through and we need to search the pyjaks for the module. Move further down. Another door through here. Run down here, check it out.
He dropped the data module! It is a miracle the data module is still intact. Your pilot should be able to relay this info to your superiors.
All right. Now with that, we can make our way out. Oh, but unfortunately, we have company. Geth. And we need to use AI hacking for the trophy, so let's use that to make one of the Geth on our side. And then, of course, have any trophies that you have not unlocked, prioritize those abilities. So in my case, I have Barrier that I still need to do, as well as Warp and Singularity. Alright. Looks like this is the last one. So we'll just wait for him to come out of stasis. Alright. Now, fun little fact. You notice how many Pyjaks are out here. If you want to, I'm not saying you should, if you want to, any trophies that you don't have that are associated with certain abilities, like your biotics, save your game here, use your biotics on all these Pyjaks, especially the ones that are like used for offensive or anything. If you run out of Pyjaks, just reload your save and keep doing it until the trophies pop. I'm not going to do that because I've actually been making good progress with mine, so instead I'm going to go ahead and move around. We need to get around this big mountain and we got to head to the south. Now, you will notice right up here, there is a X'd out marker. That is a Pyjak colony. Again, you can do whatever you want. But we are looking for this deposit that's right down here. Heavy metal. And with that, we are done. So return to the Normandy. And we're going to back out. And we are done at Attica Beta. Now, we are going to go over we have a new system available, or a new cluster, Maroon Sea. We're gonna go there, and we're gonna go to Caspian. We're gonna ignore the MSV cornucopia for right now, and instead, we're gonna go up here to Antida. Turian Insignia. We already have all the Turian Insignias, but just as before, any extras that we find will just be an additional credit and experience boost. Now we're gonna go over here to Klatanka. Heavy metal. That is the final heavy metal we need, and we now have all of our required valuable minerals for the UNC mission. It is complete. Any extras that we find will just be an additional credit and experience gain. Now, completing this mission means that when we go into Mass Effect 2, we will gain bonus minerals for the Normandy, but we'll get into that when we reach it. Now, we're going to head over here to the MSV Cornucopia, and we're going to land. Check around, make sure if there's any containers that we can loot.
Husks. The ship's probably crawling with them. Finding survivors seems unlikely.
Using that barrier, I finally got Barrier Mastery Trophy. So the only ones I have left are Warp and Singularity, which we will get those in time, just continuously using the abilities once they come off cooldown. Finally, that should be all of the husks. Go through this door. What we're aiming for is through that door, but let's check the side rooms first. Oh no, now we know what happened. The Geth were here.
According to the log files, the ship was out near the Perseus Veil. Looks like they found some kind of alien artifact. They brought it on board, and then... This is really weird, Shepard. They plotted a course straight into the Perseus Veil, like they wanted the Geth to find them.
That artifact must have done something to them. Why else would someone fly into Geth space?
The entries don't make a lot of sense after that. It's like the captain's mind was falling apart. I don't see anything about how they got back into human territory.
The Geth transformed them into husks and left the vessel where they knew it would be found. A warning to other organics not to enter the Veil.
All right, and with that, we have solved the mystery. We have neutralized any threat here. So now we can make our way back. Use the galaxy map. And back out. Now we're going to go to Vostok. Yeah, first we're going to scan over the asteroid belt until we find the unknown metallic asteroid. Heavy metal for additional credits and experience. And now we're going to go to the 4th planet. The Titan. Matriarch's Writings. Which I believe that's the final one. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to check my notes. And now we need to find Nadra Crux.
Looks like we've got an active distress beacon on the planet below, Commander. No message, just a locator signal.
And we're going to land. So for this one, we're going to take along Garrus and Tally. You can take whoever you want at this point. Just make sure at least one person in your squad has decryption electronics, so that way if you have any unlockable crates, you can do it. We're going to go west. You'll notice there are some enemies on the ground. These are Thorian creepers. Light them up. There's more over the hill here. We got some crates. Once you have those, head back to the Mako. And then there's a deposit just up there. If you've been following along with my guide so far, you should have all of the valuable minerals for the mission done. These are just for extra credits, because they do give quite a bit for discovering them.
Just lead the way. I'm here if you need me.
Alright, now we're gonna go south, southeast. So just, we're gonna go right up here. Again, you want to try to stay on anything that looks green for grip. Once you finally made it out of that mess, just kind of stay like in a southeasterly direction. Eventually, you should see another deposit. You ever wonder how BioWare gets people to get the playtime in on their games? That kind of crap right there is how. So, in order to get to that deposit, the easiest way to get to it is to kind of go through here, this little path that we have right in front of us, about here in the map. Then we're going to make our way, we're going to cut across and make our way around. Alright, when we finally get this one, now we need to go east. So we're gonna go back down here. Alright, once we get back down here in this open field, we're going to go back up this pathway that we found before to get to that deposit over there. And once we come out here into the opening, we're going to go to the east. We're going to go up to that shining light there on top of that cliff. And there will be more Thorian creepers out here. Once that's handled, we can now get out. And there will be Thorian creepers inside here, so just be careful. Don't let them get too close to you. Here we go. Nobody really has any... Okay. We gotta do it the old-fashioned way. Alright, once it looks like you've completely cleared out the room, we'll make our way to the other side. Go to the door. We're going to head away from the mission marker. And just go around the room and opening crates. Collect everything you can find.
Rescuers? Oh, thank God. See? I told you somebody would come to investigate that signal. My name is Dr. Ross, Chief ExoGeni researcher at this facility. We've been trapped in this room for days. We're almost out of food and water. You got here just in time.
So you notice they've got armed security. And we know who these people are. ExoGeni. They were on Pharos. We know what they're up to. Expect this to go south.
I need to know what's going on. Why is this place crawling with Thorian creepers?
How do you know about the Thorian?
I know what ExoGeni was up to. I saw what they let the Thorian do to those colonists, so I destroyed it.
Our secret's out then. No point in my lying. You already know the worst. The creepers here were created using altered samples from the specimens on Pharos. We discovered a way to turn them into docile, obedient servants. Everything was going fine until a few days ago. Then all the creepers suddenly went berserk. Only a handful of us made it back into the safety of this room.
Any idea why they turned on you?
Maybe there was still some kind of link between the Creepers and the Thorian back on Pharos. The Thorian was unlike any other life form we've ever studied. I can't explain how, but maybe when it died, it somehow set off the Creepers here.
Any chance some of the other people at the base might still be alive?
I doubt it. Too many Creepers out there. They never stood a chance. We're the only ones left.
Why didn't you send a clear message asking for help? All we had was that signal from the emergency beacon.
This is a closed communications base. ExoGeni was worried about someone on the project selling secrets to a rival firm or reporting our work to the authorities. We have no direct communication with the outside, only the emergency beacon. It sends a general distress signal to the ExoGeni site on Pharos. They're supposed to send a team to respond inside of 24 hours, but it sounds like they had problems of their own.
I've heard all I need to.
Look, I know what we did here was wrong. I'll admit that. But it's over now. There's no sense reporting this to the authorities, right?
This is where it's going to go south.
You were in charge of this project. The safety of the staff was your responsibility. They trusted you, and you betrayed that trust.
Be reasonable. I didn't mean for this to happen. Besides, how does it help anyone if I end up in jail? Normally ExoGeni would have my back, but it sounds like they're going to have their hands full cleaning up the mess on Pharos. But I've got money. A nice little emergency fund I set up. It's yours if you let us go.
The victims here deserve justice. I have to take you in.
That's not going to happen.
Okay.
Open fire. Open fire!
You know, I may be playing Paragon, but I kind of prefer it this way. Just saying. So, I'm going to take her out first just because, heh. And then I'm going to have Tally shield overload. This guy... ExoGeni's second-rate mercs proved no match for a trained Alliance Marine. With the last of the science crew dead, there's no reason to linger here. Well, there's a small reason. All the loots. Alright, now, with all that, we are done here, except we have one more thing to find to the north. So we're going to go to this little opening right here. And there's a debris. Yeehaw! Alright, with that, hop back on the Normandy. Go to the galaxy map, and we have one more system to check out. Go to Matano. We're going to go to the third planet. Or, no, sorry. We're gonna scan the inner asteroid belt. I got my notes mixed up. Heavy metal. Now we're gonna check the outer ring. For a rocky asteroid. Prothean data disk. Now we're going to go to the second planet, Chaska. I haven't used Rex in a minute, so we're going to go ahead to his squad points. And I am going to go ahead and max out his warp. Increase warp's effects, radius duration allows it to be used more often. And then we're also going to increase his barrier. And he can now wear Krogan heavy armor. The 2 points into combat armor. And then because he prefers shotguns, I'm going to dump the rest of my points into shotguns. And then put the remaining 7 points. Combat armor. And assault rifles. And Garrus, I'm going to go ahead and put 4 points into electronics and max it out, or to put it in level 9 so that he can unlock everything since we don't have one of the other squad members here. And with his sniper rifle maxed out, we are going to put the remaining 4 points in assault training. This way he does increased weapon damage by 6%. And with Shepard, I'm gonna max out assault training. And we're gonna leave that there for now. Alright. So here, we're gonna travel all the way to the north point, right around here. And we're gonna start from there, we're gonna work our way down. Once you see the red on the northern part of your compass, then start heading west. And we're looking for a deposit. Oh. Okay. They're small rocks, that's why I didn't see it. Alright, so just right up here on this hump. We have plutonium. Now all we need is 1.21 gigawatts.
1.21 gigawatts!
Alright, once you have that, head south to the next deposit. Okay, with that, now we are going to head further south to about here. So what we're going to do to make this a little bit easier, we're going to go down here into this open area. We're going to drive down and around. We're going to ignore these for now. We're going to head about right over here for one final deposit. There's the deposit. Now we're going to head over here to this area with the enemies. Head back here and grab this debris really quickly. So if that ever happens, if you're using controller, PlayStation, hold X, Xbox, hold A, and it should roll itself back over. Alright, now let's turn around and go back. And be ready for some more husks. All right, we are running out of items again. All right, that should be all of them. So just come up here, grab Medigel if you need it. A weapon locker. That is 1 out of 3 locations that we need to clear. Once you're done, go ahead and head out. So this is 1. We need to go northwest for the second. And again, clear out the building. Alright, with enemies clear, let's head upstairs and look for any loot. It's gonna be tight. I'm gonna have to sell some upgrades as well because I'm running out of inventory space way too fast. But once we have all that, we can now make our way out and head to the final location. Okay, I've returned to where we were, and I was right in the direction I was going. We need to climb up here. The facility we're looking for is right up there. So, as I was driving over here, I looked it up really quickly, and it turns out that Mass Effect 1 has a serious issue with collision glitches when it comes to the Mako. And apparently, the only way to fix it is to either reload, save and reload, or do what I just did and return to the Normandy and then land again. It is a known issue that apparently has persisted since the day this game originally came out, way back in the day, and it was never fixed. In true BioWare fashion. Alright, last building. So just as before, clear out the husks. And we'll finish this mission. Alright, once the room's clear, there's some back rooms over here. mission critical spot is on the right, so we're going to go to the left. Nothing here. Colonial Pioneer Team rarely consists of more than a few dozen specialists. It's clear that none of them have survived. The Cerberus group has a lot to answer for here. All right. And with that, mission complete. We can now return to the Normandy. No, scratch that. We have one more thing to find. I just looked over at my notes and realized that we're not quite done yet. We've got one more thing to track down. So, get into the Mako, and we're going to head east. More southeast. We're going to go back down here where we saw the debris, and then we're going to go east. You notice the anomaly is right up there, so we're going to have to climb up this mountain. Just follow the grassy trail, and you should have no problem in getting up there. Another pyramid. But again, we are not investigating the pyramid. Instead, we need to go inside. Now, Prothean data disk. There we go. All right, now we're done. Return to the Normandy. All right, that's going to have to do it for this episode. We have ran out of time. When we come back, we're going to go check out one more system in the Hawking Eta cluster for a quick mission. And then we will be returning to the Citadel for our third visit. As always, thank you all so much for watching. If this guide is helping you out, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are, and it does greatly help the channel. So please consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. And I will see you all in the next one. Take care and have a wonderful day.